I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that, but here I am. Like I said, I'm a people pleaser. I, that's a part of me that I'm really not super proud of. I wish I would be more like just doing whatever the heck I want. Heck, I'm 64. At this age, I should, right? And I feel like I do for the most part, because I don't really care if people think negatively of me, because I get a lot of criticism being on YouTube, which is natural. That's fine, and people will talk about the way I look. They'll tell me I'm ugly, or they'll say I look weird, or they make fun of the way I wear my makeup, or well, as you can see, I'm not in the house. I'm not doing Uber. Don't get excited. I will be soon, but I decided that I needed to film somewhere else. Like I said, I've got a house full right now. It's summer. It can get kind of loud, and that's okay. I like it, but it's not good when I'm filming. So rather than, have to squash everybody else and tell everybody to just shh for 15 minutes, I just leave the house. Besides, I needed to get out anyway. I've got some errands to run. So it's nice outside. I like to be outside. I don't get outside as much as I'd like. I think I will now that I'm starting to feel better. That's what I wanted to talk about. I am feeling so much better, you guys. I'm feeling like me again. When I was sick as I was, it really affects you mentally. I was getting depressed. I was getting negative. People were telling me I was negative. I'm sorry. I was just sharing my reality. And yeah, it was negative. I can't help it. I'm not going to hide that. I'm not going to just share the good. I'm going to share the bad with you guys. If you don't like the negative, don't watch the negative. If you just want rainbows and sunshine, then just watch those videos. It's your choice. Yeah, I try to do all the right things now because, I just wasn't taking care of myself. That's all it amounted to. I wasn't doing what I should be doing. I'm a grown up. I know what I need to do. I know I need to stay hydrated. I know I need to get more rest. I know I need to move my body. I know I'm not supposed to just be eating crap. And yet, there I was, doing all the things I wasn't supposed to. So I just, I made a few changes. I still have a ways to go, but just making a few minor changes has made such a difference. I just feel good again. And like I said, unless you've felt bad or been really sick, you don't appreciate it. But good health is everything, especially as we get older. It is so important because it's not just physically, it's mentally and emotionally. It really affects us. And I'm just feeling so good. I love everybody today. I feel happy. My energy levels are up. And you see life differently. I couldn't even think about making any future plans or any immediate plans because I didn't know how I was going to feel. So I was just like avoiding life in general. I was just focusing on trying to feel better, but I wasn't really doing the right things. Now that I'm doing the right things and it's working and I'm feeling better, I can start making plans to do things, to live my life again, and I'm sure I'll go through this again and again and again because that's the personality type I am. I'll feel good and I'll forget why I'm feeling so good and I'll stop doing the things that I need to continue, and then I'll start feeling crappy again. Oh, there goes my son. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I do like to share some positive things as well. I think my last few videos have been pretty positive. The one video I did on the being a liberal conservative or conservative liberal, that wasn't political. But I know when you use those terms liberal and conservative, people associate that with politics. I'm just talking about my overall personality. I don't do politics. You guys know that. I don't talk politics because I feel like that is the most divisive topic. Very rarely do people come together over politics unless they're already in agreement, and I'm here to connect. I'm here because I don't like to socialize in real life. It's easier for me to socialize online because you can delete people online. You can't in real life. Not that I want to do that, but you know what I mean? I don't have to put up with anything I don't want to online. And I love coming here. I love listening to you guys. I like, talking back and forth, commenting and stuff. It's wonderful. And everybody that's here, at least on my site, are grown-ups. You guys are civilized, polite people. Not everybody in the world is. There's a lot of angry, bitter, rude people out there. I don't allow that. That's usually where I draw the line. But some people can come off like they're rude when they're really not. They're just being sarcastic or funny. And I have a very inappropriate, sarcastic sense of humor. So I can usually catch that, and I won't get too put off by it. But I notice some of my other subscribers do when they deal with those people in the comments. And you probably know who I'm talking about. But I get them because, I'm that way too. So I don't get too upset. And now I've lost my train of thought. I've got so much going through my head, talking about how I like to socialize online more than in person, because I can turn it on and off as I want to when I'm up for feeling like socializing. Because here it is, in the afternoon, most people are working or doing whatever. They don't want us, go have coffee or sit on the phone, but neither do I. But you know what I mean? But yet I can come online now and talk to you guys and then read the comments and comment back. So for me, it works out. But yeah, that video that I made yesterday, a few people were like, "Oh, I can't believe you're talking politics." It wasn't political at all. I was just saying that I'm a conservative person in general. The way I approach my life, I'm very conservative, my values and all that. But I also have a liberal side. Oh, and somebody else pointed out something I thought was cute. I thought was funny. They weren't being mean in any way. She's the sweetest thing ever. And she was just saying how it was funny that I used the word pot, because that's something that people from our generation use. Younger people don't usually call it pot. I don't know what they call it because I don't partake in that. But I guess weed. We called it Mary Jane. We called it weed. We called it grass. Remember that, grass? Reefer. I don't know. What do they call it now? Medicine? Because you buy it at dispensaries. So I don't know, but I thought that was funny. I laughed when she pointed that out. I thought that's true. I was referring to people that smoke pot, that I'm not anti at all, and I much prefer that over alcohol. If I'm against anything, it would be alcohol, but I can't be because my whole family's they're brewers, and that's the type of work everybody does. So I'm not against that, just people that overindulge, I guess. We've had problems in my mom's side of the family with alcoholism, not so much in not with my family or my siblings. Well, maybe a little bit, but not like that. It just seems to be a thing of the past. I don't know, people don't drink like they used to. They don't smoke cigarettes like they used to. People have changed, which is good. I think people are getting healthier. I know some people still do that, but they've made it so that you can't smoke anywhere, like not even outside. I've told you that story. I went down to Dana Point with my sister, and she's a smoker, and literally there was nowhere she could smoke, so we had to go sit in my car, and even then we could have gotten ticketed because you're not allowed to smoke at all out in public. And we had gotten a hotel room, and it was strictly non-smoking. The only place that she could smoke was down in the parking lot. And my poor sister, she's like 10 years older than me. She's very unhealthy. So yeah, I know she shouldn't be smoking. She knows that too. But the fact was, she did smoke, and we would have to go down there in a wheelchair so she could smoke. I know, but it was crazy. But yeah, they've made it so that it's illegal to see. And I don't know how I feel about that stuff. I don't do it, and I know it's unhealthy, But I hate that, they impose that on other people. If you're an adult, you can decide if you want to drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes or whatever. I agree that children shouldn't be able to do that, of course. But, that's, I think, where my liberal side comes in. It's like, I don't feel like babysitting adults. They should be able to make decisions, good or bad, right or wrong. I don't like telling people how they should live their life. You're not allowed to, do this or do that, whatever. Yeah, I guess that's where my more liberal side comes in. But as far as being conservative, I just mean my overall views of, I'm not, what is it? Oh, that one guy called me woke, which I know he did not mean it he wasn't complimenting me, although a lot of people said woke, and it's supposed to mean that you're awake to the injustices of this world and stuff like that. And so that would be good if that's what he meant, but that's not what he meant. He was calling me woke, and he was using it, to insult me. But I thought it was funny because he was insulting me about my nose piercing, which I happen to be extremely proud of, because I am not a very flamboyant person as far as that stuff goes. My only tattoos are this tiny little wedding band I got tattooed, and then I have a little one on my ankle, and then a botched one on my foot. But it's not like I have all these facial tattoos and piercings and my hair's pink. I would love that. I've talked about that, but I'm still kind of shy. I know that I would get a lot of looks. I would do that because I'm artsy, and that would feel good to me, but at the same time, I don't like to draw attention to myself. I know, believe it or not. So I don't do those kind of things. But when I see other people, I'm all for it. I love it. I think they're awesome that they're able to put themselves out there. But I still, still want to fit in, I guess, to some degree. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that, but here I am. Like I said, I'm a people pleaser. That's a part of me that I'm really not super proud of. I wish I would be more like just doing whatever the heck I want. Heck, I'm 64. At this age, I should, right? And I feel like I do for the most part, because I don't really care if people think negatively of me, because I get a lot of criticism being on YouTube, which is natural. That's fine, and people will talk about the way I look. They'll tell me I'm ugly, or they'll say I look weird, or they make fun of the way I wear my makeup, or one guy was giving me a hard time about my eyebrows, and I tried to explain to him. He was like, well, there's a mistake you can't take back. And I was like, dude, I lost almost all my hair, including my eyebrows and my eyelashes, a lot of hair on my head, because I was so sick. Now, I was fortunate. Most of the hair, not all, on my head has grown back. I still have a lot of open spaces here and there, but it has been coming back. But my eyebrows, they never grew back fully. I mean, I do. There's hairs there. I don't know if you guys can see them. There are hairs there, and that's as far as they grew back. So yeah, I had to go in and get them microbladed because I was tired of drawing them on every day. Plus, when you draw them on, they wipe off, especially in the summer. And then the same with my eyelashes. My eyelashes didn't come back, so I wear false eyelashes. And those are the things that people like to criticize me the most on. That I don't care about. That doesn't mean anything. But for some reason, I would be nervous about, dyeing my hair hot pink, because I feel like that would garner more attention. And that does kind of, freak me out, because I want to fly under the radar, I guess, so to speak. I just don't want to stand out too much. And like I said, I that's a side of me I don't like. I want my grandkids to be like that. I want them to do what they want. If they want to dye their hair pink, purple, blue, whatever, if they want facial piercings, tattoos, babies, you go for it. Don't ever worry about what other people think. Just because Nana's that way, I don't want them to be that way. So I encourage them to be who they are, live how they want to live. If other people don't like it, that's on them, not on you. Besides, people are always going to be critical of us, right? They're always going to be talking crap about people. There's always people like that. They're just mean, nasty, bitter people, and they're out there. Like there's one lady, I think she's gone now. Every video she watches of mine, she leaves a negative comment, right? Always. Not one time has she ever complimented me on a video, but man, she's quick with the negative responses all the time. And I thought, is that what it's like for you? Do you know how to compliment people? You know, some people don't. They only know how to say mean things. They never know how to say anything uplifting or encouraging to other people. And I think there's unfortunately a lot of people like that out there. And I don't want to have to deal with it myself. But on the other hand, it's like, I don't care. So I don't know. I'm a walking contradiction. What can I say? Oh, 14 minutes, 15 minutes. You guys, if you made it to this point, because some of you do, and I love you guys. You don't know how much that helps me right now with the summer slump. Just watching my videos till the end is the best thing you can do. That and hyping them and liking them, that's going to save me, you guys, because things are, you know, I've been doing Uber and summer slump is here and things are tight for me, you know, and I'm getting a little bit nervous, but I'm not going to talk about that. That's my business. I'll deal with that. Like I said, I don't want to talk about sex. I don't want to talk about money. And I don't want to talk about politics. Those things should be taboo, at least in polite society. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Even a thumbs down. I don't care. It just shows interaction. So yeah. Thank you guys for your encouragement and for being here. I love you guys, and I'm going to let you go because I'm going to run some errands, but watch my video tomorrow. I did a video where I am going to share with you guys how I'm feeling so much better, what I'm doing. I'm going to share my secret. If you want to know, you're going to have to watch. I think it'll be first thing tomorrow morning or the next day, but probably tomorrow. You know me, I don't like to wait. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.